Hello, 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 everyone. It is Dr. Brandy B, your triple board certified child and adolescent psychiatrist, adult psychiatrist, and pediatrician. And I am so excited here, y'all, because I am planning for the big day. I am planning for the big day. Um, Oh my goodness. Come on in, tag somebody, let them know that we're here. Let them know that we are here and we are getting ready to plan for the big day. Planning for the big day. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. Let's see. Is anybody coming? Y'all coming to talk to me today? There we go. There we go. Come on in. Come on in. Let me know that you are here because I am super excited to be here with you on Friday, the 12th of November. Oh my goodness, y'all. The end of the year is almost here. Hey, that rhymes. I like the way that sounds. The end of the year is, well, it is here. The end of the year is here. Come on in and let me know who you are when you get here. Say hello. I believe that Stacy just arrived. Hi, Stacy. Let me get my comments back up so I can see. All right, who do we have here? Miss Chiquita, Truly Love 3. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Destiny and Emily are here. The birthday girl. Thank you for coming and happy birthday to you, sweetie. I hope it is the most magnificent one you have had yet. Who else do we have here? Stacy says, Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Absolutely. Auntie Julia says, hello. And we are so happy that you are here with us, Auntie Julia. Anybody else coming in, go ahead and tag some people. Let them know that we are planning for the big day. That's what we're focusing on today, planning for the big day. You know, you could be having any kind of a big day. You might be having a birthday like Miss Emily. You might be having a wedding coming up. You might be having report cards coming up. There could be any of a number of things that you could have coming up, and we want to know about planning for it. We've got Stephanie Turner Floyd. Hello, a fabulous Friday to everyone, she says. And Miss Kimberly Parks, happy Friday to you. Priscilla, I think she did a flip or a cartwheel. Oh my goodness. Take care of those knees. Don't hurt yourself. Please, Priscilla. Don't do it. We thank you for joining us as well. Mama says, hello, Dr. Brandy B. We thank you for being here as well. All right, y'all. Let's see. Is anybody else coming in? The weather is beautiful today. It rained yesterday. Stacy and I were working together and she asked me, was it raining? I said no. And as soon as I got up and went in the other room, I said, well, I guess it is raining. So Stacy, it was raining and I didn't even know it because I'm in here just bringing my own sunshine to a rainy day. That's just what I do, y'all. I bring sunshine to my own rainy day if there happens to be one. All right. So what are we doing today? We are talking about preparing for the big day. Preparing for the big day. Planning for the big day. Planning, preparing, all of that. Planning for the big day. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm Dr. Brandy B, triple board certified pediatrician, adult psychiatrist, and child and adolescent psychiatrist. And through my Facebook live stream, Focus on It Friday, which is where you are right now, through my book, Shine, Understanding ADHD So Your Child Can Be a Star, through my upcoming event, which is tomorrow. And that is going to be Mommy's Time Out, through other speaking engagements or whatever it is that I can do to help children and families. I am trying to help kids be successful in the classroom and in life. If you watched last week, y'all know I was brought to tears by a comment that a mom said, oh my goodness. And it is just an honor to be able to stand before you, to have you all even be here. And so I am super excited. Mama says that she is excited about tomorrow. And guess what? I don't know that anybody is any more excited than Dr. Brandy B is. I am so excited about tomorrow, y'all, because the reason I was late today is because I had to speak with two of my speakers. They are excited and they want to know if they're too excited, if I'm equally excited. And I'm like, I'm excited. The people are excited. Everybody's excited. It's just going to be a great time, just got off the phone with Dr. Tennille. Dr. Tennille is getting her recipes together for the people that are coming to the mommy's time out, because we're going to be making some mom drinks, wink wink, libations of an adult variety, and we're going to be having a lot of fun doing that. But we're talking about planning for the big day. So most of the people that come and listen to me are parents, right? And so from, for most people, some people get caught off guard, but by and large, at least for me, everything about my children was planned. We decided that we were going to wait 2 years after we got married, and then we decided that, okay, this is the time right now because of X, Y, and Z with jobs or whatever else. And then we decided, okay, we're going to try again. And then we decided, okay, this is the last time. It was very much planned out. Now I know that everybody didn't have a plan that works out in that way. Sometimes you have to adopt, and I have a colleague who talks about adoption a lot. She and her family were made complete by adoption. Some parents are made parents because you married someone with children, and then some other people were made parents when your sister, your brother, someone else was not able to care for their child, and they basically either said, hey, I need you to help, or you just went in and said, you're not able to do this, I'm going to help you myself. You voluntold somebody that they were not going to be able to parent their child. And so then there you were. And so everything about a plan, if you actually a lot of people even have birthing plans, right? Which I always try to caution people, be prepared for your birthing plan to go out the window, because if you get into trouble, or if the baby gets into trouble, then the plan will suddenly change. And we need you to be able to roll with that and not think that people are just trying to do X, Y, and Z on you, but that there is an urgent situation, emergent situation that needs to be handled. But nonetheless, we plan. We plan all the time for what it is that we want to do with our kids. We plan for kindergarten graduation. We plan for, to take off on the first day of kindergarten. We plan for middle school, elementary, high school, all these milestones. We plan for their 16th birthday party. We plan for them to go to college. And so, but the question is, who's planning for you? Who's planning for you? Now, some people may say, well, parenthood isn't about you. It's when you just devote all your time and energy to your children. How many people out there believe that parenthood, hey Sharonda, thank you for joining, is just all about your kids, and that's all you need to do? If you agree with that statement, just put I agree. I agree. And if you don't, say I do not agree. I do not agree. Parenthood is about doing everything for your children. And then if you have some time left over, then if you have some money left over, then if you have some energy left over, you can devote it to yourself. Anybody out there, tell me how you feel about that. You agree. So Miss Kimberly Park says that I do not agree, says Amelia. Hello, Mimi. Miss Kimberly Park says she agrees. Parenthood is a time where you just say, until these next 18 years pass, or 24 or 26 or 30 or 50, because some people never grow up. I am going to put my life on hold, my desires, my wishes, my goals, my aspirations, my dreams, and I am going to devote them exclusively to my children. I saw somebody else. Stacy says she does not agree. Sharonda says she agrees. Mama Rudolph says she does not agree. Anybody else? Parenthood. Priscilla, you still here? Who else we got? Miss Stephanie Floyd. What about Miss Destiny? Miss Destiny's pretty young. Is that what you agree with? That parenthood means I became a mom, I became a dad, I became a guardian to my nieces or nephews, or whatever the case may be. I became a bonus mom, stepmom. And so I need to put all of my needs aside, all of my goals, all of my aspirations, all of my dreams, and just focus on my children. Miss Stephanie Turner Ford says, I disagree. You put on your mask first, and then you can help someone else. Oh my goodness. Either she's flown or she listens to Dr. Brandy B. We don't know. Let's see. Miss Shaquita says, that's what I did, so I guess I agree. Okay. Erica says, hello, beautiful. Hello, my sister. Thank you for coming on in the room. Erica, what are your thoughts on that? That motherhood. So we're talking about focusing on planning for the big day. And we're talking about essentially planning for our children, from everything having to do with their conception, to their major milestones, to, you know, their birthday celebrations, to them going off to school, to them getting a job, to them having kids and marriage. So the question on the table is, do you agree or do you disagree with the statement that motherhood, fatherhood, parenthood, auntyhood, whatever, has to do with putting your dreams, aspiration, goals, hopes, the things that you desire, putting that aside while you focus exclusively on your children? Amelia says everyone needs some me time in order to revitalize yourself so that you can be mentally stable to handle the needs of your children. Ain't that the truth? Kimberly says even helping grandkids. I guess, Kimberly, I think you said earlier that you do agree with the statement. So you are still putting yourself aside for your grandkids. Okay, I think that's what I said. I'm reading. Auntie Julia says not. Nope, not. Priscilla says she agrees. She agrees. All right. Well, this is an interesting conversation here that we're having, Dr. Brenda B fans, because Kimberly says, yes, ma'am. So she agrees. She is still helping the grandkids and putting herself aside. Oh, my goodness. Well, let me tell y'all something. Think about this. Just think about it. Everyone who said yes, Erica says, I think that we can work together on our dreams and goals. And I like that. Think about it with me. Now, I have a two-year-old, soon to be 3, a 5-year-old, and a 6-year-old that will be 7, 5 days before the 2-year-old will be 3. So right now they are 2, 5, and 6. And there would be no Dr. Brandy B if I said, all I can do is focus on my children. I would, for the people that say you agree with that statement, that would mean that I would have to put my goals, my aspirations, the things that bring me joy. Talking to you all brings me great joy. Helping children brings me great joy. I would have to put that aside for the next 18 years and pretty much start living out my dreams at 60 plus. Now, with that being said, I think it's important that we do know that raising our children is a priority. Would everybody agree with that? Raising our kids is a priority. We were given that job. We were given that task. And to be honest, when people asked me, I was on a panel last night and people were asking, how did we decide to take the coronavirus vaccine? The reason I took it, and I was hesitant until I got with some people that I knew had education about the vaccine. The reason I did it is because I know that I can raise my kids the way that I can raise my kids. And so even though I was scared, even though I didn't know if my arm would fall off, I thought if my arm falls off, I'll hold my babies with the other arm. So absolutely, it is our task and it is our job to take care of our babies. And in some ways, we do put them first. We put our children first because we have to protect them. We are their advocate. And so when the world acts like it's crazy and can't advocate for our babies, that is what we have to do. But mama, take care of you. As someone said so eloquently, and I always use this example, if the plane loses pressure, the cabin loses pressure, you got to put your own mask on first. You will begin to resent your children, resent your spouse, resent your life if you don't put your dreams, your goals, your aspirations first. We're still humans, even though we're mothers. Let's see. Hey, everyone. LaShawn says, thank you for joining. We're having a lively discussion over here. It seems that the busy bees are split on whether or not when we become mothers and fathers and parents, by any means, if our only goal in life is to just take care of our kids until they get grown, whenever that'll be. Let's see. I wanted a third arm, but to no avail with the vax. There you go. No, Chantrice, a third arm would have helped, but no, none of that. But we did get to ensure that even if we get coronavirus, we won't die. We are much less likely to die. We have to put on our mask first. So I'm glad we had that question. And so for the people out there, who, let's say Amir says, exactly, the vaccine was for me to be around to help with my grandchildren because I love every part of them. I didn't care if I had an eye in the middle of my forehead after, but we still have to have time for ourselves. I'm a super busy person. Absolutely. Absolutely. So guess what happens? Do y'all remember? And if you missed it, go back and check out my live from September. Actually, it was October the 1st, where it was entitled Focus on the Things You've Been Ignoring. And for the people that come every week, I talked about how I had been ignoring myself, right? I had been ignoring myself. And so what happens when we ignore ourselves? We get sick and we don't even know we're sick. We end up in the hospital. So there I was thinking, I'm running around doing all of this, trying to get my fans, my patients, my kids, my husband, my mom, my aunt, whomever else taken care of. And there I was in the hospital, not able to do anything for anybody. Not able to do anything for anybody. Trying to figure out how to be in the hospital bed and still start a challenge because I didn't take that time for me, right? So we've got a plan for the big day, but the big day needs to be ours. Have you ever seen a mama who's busy all year planning birthday parties for her kids, birthday parties for her husband, birthday parties for her coworkers? Her birthday rolls around and somebody brings her some flowers from Aldi's, and the flowers from Aldi's are beautiful. But who's planning for her big day? So if you live in a situation where nobody's planning for yours, guess what? You better plan it yourself. Because here's the deal about our kids. Our kids are going to grow up and they're going to leave. And that's what we want them to do. The people whose kids can't leave, they want them to be able to be kids that can leave. The people whose kids won't leave, they want them to leave too. And if you have spent the entirety of their young lives not getting to know yourself, you will find yourself lost. Have you ever had a friend, and I can remember in college, whenever my girlfriends would say, hey, you want to go out with us? I'd say, oh, I'm going to be with this person. And then they say, well, hey, you want to go out with us? And I said, oh, I'm going to be with this person. And then one day I said, hey, y'all, what are y'all doing? And they said, well, we have plans to go over here. I said, well, y'all didn't ask me. They said, because you always want to be with that other person. And so that's what will happen with you. You will look up and you will find that you don't even know yourself. You've fallen out of love with yourself because you put somebody else before you. I like what my sister Erica said, which is we can work on our goals together. There have been parents that have gone to school alongside their kids. There have been people like me that are building businesses alongside. Yesterday, my husband's out of town. It was Veterans Day. School was out, but my kids had homework like school was in. So I was putting one on the piano Wednesday night, putting one on the piano, getting one at the kitchen table with homework. I was still seeing patients because that's what I had to do. Because stuff had to happen with them. Stuff was happening with me, but we were figuring it out because y'all know mamas can figure stuff out. If anybody can figure it out, it's a mama. It's a mama. But who's figuring out stuff for us? Who's figuring out stuff for us? Let's see. LaShawn says, yeah, we lose ourselves when we are raising our kids, taking care of everyone except ourselves. I'm certainly guilty. LaShawn has 4 amazing children, all college educated, didn't give a lick of trouble. Now, that's what I saw on the outside. Now, if you ask her and her husband, they swear that these kids was giving them some trouble. They weren't giving no trouble. But preacher's wife, so I'm sure she had obligations to the church, obligations to the kids, obligations to her pastor, who's also her husband. All of this wears us down. When do we replenish? Let's see. Kimberly Park says, I believe that we can take care of my kids and grandkids and still put myself first as long as they are taken care of and I'm taken care of. Absolutely. That's what I want us to get to the point where we do not feel bad about doing things for ourselves. People will always say, I'll give my kid my last dime, but would you give it to yourself? If your children have everything that they need and most of what they want, and something comes up that you really want for yourself, but there's something else your child wants, who do you give it to? Your want or your child's? Because I'm telling you, these kids are going to leave. And if they can't leave, you will be saying, y'all don't complain about y'all's child leaving. I wish my child could leave. And if they won't leave, you'll be nagging them, get a job, get out. And so when they leave, it's just going to be you and silence, or you and your husband. And if you've not gone on a date with him, you won't know who he is either. And it would be unfortunate if, in not knowing who you were, he found out who somebody else was. So if you have a husband, you need to pay him some attention too. LaShawn says, learning to take care of myself. We only live once. Absolutely. If your child has everything they need, most of what they want, and you go somewhere and you see something that you want, I'm going to suggest that without even hesitating, you get it if you can afford it. Now, if it's for the light bill, then, you know, that might be something different, because remember, I can't pay your bills. But splurge on yourself. People treat you how they see you treating you. Right? So I got a new car in May. My children know they can't eat in there. So they're very cautious in there. I heard them this morning. I let them get a little breakfast bar on the way to school. I heard one tell the other, you know, not to litter in mommy's car. But in my 1999 Expedition, I'm not so careful. So what do? They litter. They throw, the baby girl got the milk bottle upside down. It's a mess. I have to clean it out every time. But what do they do in my new car? They know not to even come that way with food, because I don't allow it. Yes, I'm like that, because I can be. If we going to eat, we going in a different car. They know that this is the good car. We don't eat in here. And so it is with ourselves. People treat us how we allow them to. If we allow them to treat them like we're the spare car, the spare person, they're going to throw trash all around us. They're not going to care how they treat us. If we tell them, I'm worth it, I'm a luxury vehicle, they're going to treat you like you're expensive. They're going to wipe you down. They're going to lay a towel on the seat. They're not going to even come to you with trash, because they know you don't want to hear it and you're not about it. And who treats us more like trash, if we let them, than the people we live with? So instead of being the spare car, the 21, 22-year-old car, treat yourself like a luxury vehicle. Any luxury vehicles out here? Who's a luxury vehicle? Or are you the spare car? The spare car. Let's see what we got up here. Look, Amelia says, I truly understand. I had empty nest syndrome so bad, I almost bought a dog, and I don't even do animals. I'm telling y'all, these kids leave. They leave, and you want them to leave. You do. But then you don't know who you are. You don't even know what your whole life has been running from your house to their school, to your job, to their school, to football practice, to band practice, to cheerleader practice, to drum practice, to voice practice, to Sunday school, to after school, back to school, before school, during school, after school, Black History Month, Thanksgiving month, gobble, gobble. And then they're gone. You got a full tank of gas that lasts you 3 weeks, because you don't have anywhere to go. All your friends, now if you're lucky, all of your friends are doing the same thing. So when you stop, they're stopping, and y'all can all just hang out now as friends instead of as mom friends. But if your kids are off cycle with your real friends' kids, now you just out there trying to figure out what to do, because they, you know, like me, I've got a lot of my classmates, their kids are graduating from college. So if I was just going to be hanging out with them, I'd be in trouble. LaShawn says, after all my kids left home, I definitely had to find myself so busy pouring into my kids and my husband. Didn't have anything left for me. You live and you learn. And that's what I'm trying to get y'all to do right now. To live and to learn. When you're planning for the big day, nobody can plan your day like you can. And if the people that you live with are not able to understand that and to see that, you have to tell them. You have to remind people, I'm luxury. Just walk up to your kids today and say, I'm a luxury vehicle. They're going to look at you crazy, but I want you to just say it and walk off and mean it. I'm a luxury vehicle. Don't come at me with trash, giving me your leftovers. You done gave your teacher your best all day, and you come home mad at me like I'm the spare car. I gave you life. I'm luxury. Treat me as such. Don't fix a meal and see if they start treating you like luxury. Tell them to figure it out if they're old enough. My kids might set some on fire. Chantree says, Erica Harris agreed I had to prioritize and make sure I was good too. LaShawn is cracking up. I'm going to opt to give to my children. Oh, Lord of me, you got to give for yourself. Chantree says, I asked my best friend to hold me accountable to get some stuff that I want. Absolutely. Just because we have kids doesn't mean that our desires change. You know, LaShawn says she living her best life now, honey, but all her kids are grown. Of course she can live her best life. She had 4 kids all together. So I imagine if you are boom, 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 and then boom, they all gone. I imagine that's like, oh my goodness, what do I do now? Chantree says, LaShawn, yes. Priscilla is cracking up. Latina, hello, girl. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party. Miss Betty Jeffers, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Mama says me. I don't know what that was for, but it probably could have been for her running around, taking me everywhere. My mama tried to bribe me into not going away to college. We probably still would have been living together. But you want your kids to grow up. You do. And, you know, and you don't want just a trophy for having raised a good child. You want the trophy and all the other stuff that comes with it. That trophy sit on the shelf and look all dusty, and you just at home looking at the trophy. I did a good job. I raised a great child. But you don't even know how to go to the movies or anything. Erica says, I'm guilty of sacrificing for my son instead of me. But as me and my friends said, they grow up and then it's all about me. And I help them when they need it, still being mama bear on the slide. Absolutely. I'm going to always be mama bear. Mama bear on the slide is called mother-in-law. Don't y'all be that mother-in-law. Chantree says, I am a Tessie. I love it. Chantree said, yeah, what? Auntie Julia says, luxury over here, honey. Amelia says, luxury. LaShawn says, you will get to the point where you don't feel guilty about doing things for yourself. My kids come home trying to take my stuff, asking, when did you buy this or that? Thank God I can do that now. God is so good. He really is. But I want us to get to the point, y'all, where at least once a month, we're going to start once a month for now. You treat yourself to something. You treat yourself to something. And then we're going to go to once a day. And then we want to go even to once a week. And then we want to get to once a day. Now, self-care is not selfish. And we don't have to buy ourselves things to make sure that we're planning for our big day. You don't have to buy stuff. Time for me is more valuable than anything I can buy with money. I tell people all the time, there are 2 things that people value: time and money. And of course, the things that money can buy. Money is not a problem for me, but time is, which is why I'm so cautious with where I spend mine. I'll give you money before I give you time. Now, that may not be everybody else's testimony, but as for me, time is very thin. So I have to make sure that I preserve my time. And remember, we talked about in the fall, the power of saying no. So we got to use that. LaShawn says she is all luxury. Miss Betty Jeffers says, I need to work on this. Everything goes to my kids, even the grown one. Oh, Lord. See what I told y'all? Y'all can't be around here saying 18 years. because they still need, and even if they don't need you to buy them stuff, again, there's time and there's money. And these adult kids, okay, listen, I'd rather change these diapers that I'm changing than deal with some issues of adult children who are grown in age, but not in behaviors. And so you're always rescuing them. So our kids will always need us to parent. But parenting just takes different forms as they get older, right? And so some people with adult kids can attest to that. And it may not even be that they need your money, but they need your guidance in a way that they didn't before. They need your wisdom in a way that they didn't need before. They need you to tell them that girl or that guy is not what you think, okay? Or that job or that car or that house. You're living with us right now. We don't bother you. Why would you buy this little bitty house for $300,000 when you have the whole basement downstairs and we don't come down there? That's the kind of stuff that adult kids need. Adult kids. Let's see. LaShawn says she's all luxury. Amelia says it's the mommy guilt. The mommy guilt. Priscilla says, like my mom will say, you drive a car and I drive an automobile. There you go. Fancy, honey. Fancy. Nothing but luxury over here. Nothing but luxury. I tell you, pouring into your children pays off. It absolutely does. It absolutely does. But you know, what we are doing as parents is modeling what we want our kids to do. And so I have a goal for how long it'll be that I'll work the way that I'm working. And part of that is because, you know, I want my kids to know that hard work pays off. If you have a goal, write it down, keep looking at it, work towards it. Don't take no for an answer. The piece of paper, that one right there in the middle, I think that's my pediatric board. I worked hard for that, right? I worked hard for that. I mean, I worked for all of them. But that one I worked hard for. And the reason that I kept going is because I knew that one day my kids would say to me, Mama, it's hard. And I need something to tell them, to show them about something that was hard for me too, but I did it. Our kids watch us. Our kids mimic us. And if all we ever show our kids is us working to the bone, never taking a vacation, never doing anything for themselves, that is what they think. They will grow up to think is right. And we don't want that for our kids. We want them to live abundant lives, but we want them to realize Jesus took a rest day, y'all. He rested a whole day. A whole day. So that means that we need to too. We've got to prioritize. We've got to put ourselves first. Or at least 1.1 if we put our kids at 1. Because that's what's going to sustain us, lest we get worn out and we start hollering at them. And I know y'all holler at your kids because when you bring them to the appointment, you're so mad at them. Ooh, you mad? And that's because you've not taken time out to do anything for yourself. Chantry says to Miss Jeffers, practice makes perfect. That's right. We have to keep practicing. We have to keep practicing. Auntie Judy says, my life is so freed at this point. I feel awful mentioning to others about their self-care and stop being so self-sacrificing. That's right. We got to take time for ourselves. Miss Kimberly Park says, I've got 3 kids and 6 grandkids, and my oldest daughter, Emily, gives more to me than I give to myself so that I can use my time helping them as much as I can. And, you know, grandparents who are raising kids certainly have a special place in my heart because, you know, I know that's just got to be difficult for whatever the reason that you're in that situation. But we thank God that you're able to do it. But even more, grandparents who are raising kids need a time out because at a certain age, our bodies tell us it's no longer time for us to do that. So if we're having to do that, we need to be careful to protect our body from something that it didn't want to do. But we're glad that you know, you're able to do. Chantrese says, cannot pour from an empty cup, so I'm going to make sure I'm full. My kids deserve a happy and a whole mom. And that's absolutely the case. LaShawn says, I still pour to my babies. There's balance now where I look out for myself. Your babies can do for themselves, you know. And I used to think, well, you know, my mama always says, well, you don't need me to buy you anything. No, I don't. I don't need you to buy me anything. But I still need you to tell me, Brandy, did you call and make your eye appointment? And she kept asking me and asking me and asking me. And I said, oh, it's been a couple of years. And when I called that lady, said, you hadn't been since, I think, 2014. I'm like, oh, sweet Jesus. So we need our parents, and our children need us in different ways as they get older. And Chantrese says that LaShawn has the sweetest kids, and they really are. They are the sweetest. LaShawn says, yes, so true. My baby Kristen, the future MP, called me talking about she's sick. I'm like, you're the medical professional, but she needed and wanted her mom. And she's 27. Do y'all ever know? My husband always says these kids love their daddy. And if they daddy walk in the door, they come running to him. Talk about the little girl mostly. But guess whose side of the bed they come to in the middle of the night if they don't feel well? Mine. And they have no idea what I do for a living. So it's not because I'm a doctor. That's what we do. We wake up in the middle of the night. We know when our kids don't feel well. If they don't feel well, we don't feel well. It's like we're one with them. But in order for us to continue to keep them going, we have to replenish ourselves. We have to plan for our big day. Let's see what we got here. Chantrese says, we testify to our children too. Absolutely. And our testimony is the way that we behave. You know, there is a lot of talk now about taking mental health days from your job, and also about kids not getting perfect attendance. Because what we're doing is, you know, and now perfect attendance in the 60s and the 70s when you didn't have a cell phone and a beeper. We don't have beepers anymore, but, you know, we are always on. Y'all know that. We are always on. So even if you turn off the phone at the dinner table, that could be a form of self-care. Turn it off. Let it go to voicemail. Now, I know you're going to check your voicemails before you go to bed, but let it go to voicemail. Some people are so disciplined that they don't even have their work email on their phone. So that if there's something going on with work, when you leave, they just won't get it done. Now, of course, you can't be a physician on call and say, hey, I'm turning the phone off at 7. That you're not going to be in that position long. But we need to turn off, and then turn up. All right. But our children watch us, right? They watch us. And so it's not so much what we tell them as what we show them. So make sure that we're showing them how to be healthy. All right. Expose your children to the best life. And Amelia, that is what I absolutely try to do. The only thing I would tell you to do is to make sure that you're not working so hard to earn a living that you forget to live. People say to me, you take vacations. I sure do. I take vacations. I take days off. You know, my business coach wants me to do some other stuff, and I just can't imagine it because that's going to be my Friday. And in addition to not working on Fridays, I come and see y'all on Fridays. That's my Friday thing. So I can't wrap my mind around that just yet. Let's see. Auntie Julia says, yes. Miss Kimberly Park says, thank you. Thank you for listening. Miss Irma is here. She says, hello. Girl, we are having a good conversation today. This is what I want you to take away. I want you to take away that you are a luxury vehicle, okay? Don't let anybody treat you like you're the spare car, littering on you, taking you for granted, not respecting you. We have nothing but luxury vehicles in here. What kind of luxury vehicle are y'all? Put it in the chat so I can see. Chantrese says she is a Tesla. What about the rest of y'all? What kind of luxury vehicle? So we can know. When I see you in the street, I can say, Cadillac. My sissy walked in, scared me half to death, y'all. Yeah, so we got to make sure that people know that we are luxury vehicles. Let's see. LaShawn said, that's why I love my mom. She gave her whole life to us. She never worked. And y'all, my auntie Mary Joyce can cook. Yes, she can, y'all. Corn, bread, and everything else. That lady can cook. She had 9 kids, y'all. I don't know how in the world she did it, but she raised 9 kids and nieces and nephews like me. And we are so grateful to her. She's 86 now, I believe. 86 or 85, 86, I believe. Amelia says, LaShawn has some supermodels. That's right. Chantree says, it's mom. They always come to our side of the bed. Yes, she switched sides, y'all, and they walked around to the other side. That's what they do. I don't have any work on my phone. Good for you, Irma. Good for you. Hello, Mr. Donnell, coming on in the building. Luxury vehicle. Tell us what kind of luxury vehicle you are. Every time I take a vacation, says Amelia. Erica says she is a Bentley, honey. Don't get it twisted. She is for sure luxury. Ms. Irma says she is a Lexus, honey. Kimberly Park says a Corvette. Miss Jeffers, also another Corvette, honey. Priscilla says a Cadillac. Mama says Infinity. LaShawn says 86. I thought so. 86 and still kicking and getting people in their place if they step out of line. That's it. So now I know, y'all, that everybody on this call needs to be coming over to Mommy's Time Out tomorrow. Now, the things that we talked about, and I really didn't even plan for this to happen. I said, I ain't going to go over here and tell these people about Mommy's Time Out because I've been talking to them about this for some time. But this is why we're having time out. This is why I have asked people to from 7-ish to 4-ish to get somebody to keep their kids, because it's just a time for you. You're so busy doing things for your grandkids, for your kids, for your husband, for your best friend, for your preacher, for your church, and them, all of them. And you're not doing anything for yourself. Nobody's thinking about you while you're thinking about everybody else. So that's why tomorrow, just for a little bit, we're going to talk about, and I've heard y'all mention some of the things. Dr. Alicia Ellis Cox wrote a book on mommy guilt. We're going to have her talking to us about that. Dr. Cree talks about wifeology, being a wife. And how even though you're a wife and you got to take care of your husband, you got to take care of yourself, right? We got Dr. Katisha Vance. Here I am talking about I hadn't been to the eye doctor. She's going to tell us why we need to go to the doctor and what we need to do when we get there. Rachel Porterfield, Winston. She's going to talk to us about how to make our faces up to make ourselves feel good. Because sometimes we want to make our faces up for somebody else, but sometimes you just want to make your face up because you need that for yourself. Dr. Tennille just got off the phone with her. She's going to be mixing up some fabulous stuff because sometimes you just want to have an adult beverage. Dr. Celeste is going to be talking to us about, I talked about the COVID vaccine, and Mimi chimed in on why we got the vaccines for our families. She's going to talk a little bit about that, but a lot about health. Dr. Mia is going to talk about keeping everything the way it ought to be as we age beautifully. That's her thing, honey. Yeah, she's an OBGYN. She's going to tell us how to keep all that together. Dr. Nicole, we talked about traveling and vacationing. She's a breast radiologist by day, but when I tell you the girl travels, and guess what she does? She leaves those kids at home. She's got a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old. She leaves them at the house, and she and her husband go. They travel far and wide, and she's still a great mom, and her kids will never be able to say that she's not, but she leaves those kids at home and goes and travel. So we talked about all this stuff today. We've got Aisha Jones, Dr. Aisha Jones, owner of Ishi Boutiques. Somebody said that they can't buy stuff for themselves. Well, she's going to come and show you a fashion show that might have you buying stuff from her. I don't know if she's going to have stuff to sell. I just told her to do her thing. And then we've got Dr. Lindy, who's an emergency medicine physician by day, but she designs clothes by night. And then, of course, you've got me. And I am the epitome of, can't nobody tell me I'm not a great mom. But I also am great at everything else, too. I'm over here with y'all. Got y'all thanking me. I hopefully am moving you towards thinking about the fact that, oh my goodness, I do need to do something for myself. So if you choose for it to be Mommy's Time Out, I would love to have you at mommystimeout.me. But if you say, I really can't afford that, I don't want to do that, I'm going to just go and sit on the porch and have a couple of beers, well then by golly, go do that too. Whatever it is that you need to do to have your time out, I hope that you do it. And I hope that the people that you live with can respect you in doing that. Let's see. We got a few more things over here. Chantree says she's in there. LaShawn is in there. Mama's in there. Priscilla's in there. Let's see who else is in there. Let's see. I don't see my auntie Rosin on here. Anybody else? Erica's in there. Mr. Donnell bought a ticket for his wife. She's in there. Chantrice is in there. Who else is in there? Keena is here. She's in there. I'm looking. I don't see anybody here. Oh, Latina is in there. Who else is coming tomorrow? Y'all, we're gonna have a good time. And guess what? Next week, we're gonna talk about it. We are gonna talk about it. I'm so excited. Y'all, I got clothes laid out and everything. Keena's here to do my hair. Listen, I'm gonna call Rachel and beg her to see if she do my makeup. It's gonna be kind of early though. Let me see what else we got. Amir says, "Can I find someone to decorate for me tomorrow, girl? If you can find a banana, can't nobody decorate like you. So I'ma excuse you. But we are gonna have a good time." Let's see. Irma says, "I double booked my day. I hate it. Let me know when the next one will take place." Michelle Scott says, "Hello. Tell those gentlemen I'm finishing up. They probably about to leave." Let's see who else we got. Michelle says, "I love Dr. Celeste and Dr. Mia. You better come on over here and speak to them because they are gonna be in the building. Aisha Jones is gonna be in the building. Let's see. Am I going to buy something, girl? You know I probably buy something, but honey, I already went over there and bought some stuff, so I might be on restriction. Miss Betty Jefferson says, "Please let me know when the next one is. Won't be able to make it tomorrow. I completely understand, and we're gonna do it again. And y'all, guess what? I'm gonna plan for the next one to be face to face. So all of y'all that have been following me now for a year and a half, we're gonna be able to hug each other. So y'all know that's gonna be next year. It ain't gonna be no time soon, and we might still have on a mask." But we will be able to do it. Where is it at, says Miss Parks? It is virtual, girl. So wherever you are right now, that's where it is. LaShawn is in there. Latina is in there. Maybe Tina, get up. She talking about it's kind of early for her. Tina don't roll out of bed till about 12:30, 1, 2, 3, or 4 o'clock in the evening. Girl, you better come on because we're going to be making some drinks early in the morning. Yes. All right, y'all. I love y'all. Last week, I offered, I think $47 was the discount. People took advantage of that. There are going to be quite a few of us there. I'm super excited that people are so excited. I'm excited that people are excited. But you know what I'm excited about? Every time my kids do something and I feel myself needing I say, I'm going to have a timeout. I'm going to have a timeout. My husband's out of town, but I hired somebody to come in and be with my kids. Don't ask me for no juice. Don't ask me for no milk. Don't ask me for no Lunchable. Don't ask me for nothing because I'm going to be in here with the door locked, having my time out. Make sure that if you need, listen, I am a very nice lady. If you really want to come and you say, "Dr. Brandon B, $97, that's a lot of money. I just don't have it." If I did that, I won't be able to pay my light bill. Just send me a message. Let me see if I can phone a friend because I have some friends that have been very nice and have donated tickets. And so we will give them a shout out tomorrow at the event so that people can know what they've done. But I really appreciate y'all. I really do. As usual, we stayed over here longer than I attended. I told somebody to call me in 20 minutes. They've been blowing me up because they want to know how they can make sure that they're giving me what I need them to give me tomorrow. Because I don't take for granted that you're coming to hang out with me on your Saturday. It's going to be really, really, really good. And it is the time out that a lot of us need so we can get reconnected as women. Now, if you got to bring your baby, bring them. But I really want everybody who's coming to have all your children a sitter lined up. If they 30, get them a sitter. If they 3, get a sitter. Tell them, do not disturb. All right, we're going to have a good time. But make sure, guys, that when you're planning for the big day, that big day is yours. Remember, we got to the end of this month, and I will be reminding you to do something for yourself. Send this video to somebody that you know needs it. She's a worn out mom. He's a worn out dad. She's a worn out grandma, granddad, whatever, who never does anything for themselves because that's what they think they're supposed to do. Let them know that is not what Jesus would have of them. They've got to take care of their own vessel before they try to take care of someone else's. All right, y'all. The website for Mommy's Timeout is mommystiemout.me. And if you need a code to get some financial aid, if you will, then we can do that too. Just send me a message. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get out of here. Chantry says, yes, Lord, I'm hiding in their room since they're always trying to be in mine. That's right, girl. Run in there, hide, run, and lock the door. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm Dr. Brandy B, triple board certified child and adolescent psychiatrist, adult psychiatrist, as well as pediatrician. And through my Facebook live stream, Focus on It Friday, through my book, Shine, Understanding ADHD So Your Child Can Be a Star, through my upcoming event, which is tomorrow. It is going to be amazing. Mommy's Time Out. I have worried moms, dads, grandparents, aunts, uncles, preachers, whoever it is that deal with children, find ways to take care of themselves, find time for themselves, rejuvenate themselves so that they can live a long life, and so that they can help the children that they care and love for be successful in the classroom and in life. Auntie Julia says she enjoyed it. Auntie Julia, you need to come to the Time Out tomorrow. I'm going to send you some information because you need to be there. Have a wonderful weekend, says Mimi. You know I love you, girl. Y'all, if you need some stuff decorated, y'all better holler at Amelia Felder. That woman can decorate. And then LaShawn has her hands in the air. Miss Irma says, love you, and I will see you next week. If y'all need me for any reason, give me a ring. Of course, you know, if your child sees me as a patient, do not send me a message in my inbox. All right, y'all, I'm going to get out of here so I can get beautiful for the occasion. I will see you all either in the morning, bright and early, or I will see you next Friday. God bless y'all. I love y'all. If you've not gotten an email from me, you should have received a total of 3, but you need to have at least received 1 from me if you are registered for the Time Out. If you have not received at least 1 email, you do not have the Zoom information, which means that you will not be able to get in the morning. And I'm telling you, we got a pre-breakfast party starting at 6:45, and I'm going to already be crunk, okay? At 6:45, I'm going to be dancing like it's 1999. So that is the wrong time to tell me that you never got the link. Look for it now. Send me a message now. My team is standing by. Y'all know I'm the team, but that's all right. We are standing by to assist you now, because when it starts going down, I may not get your message, and I would hate that so bad. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Love y'all. Be safe, wear your mask, and wash your hands. Get your vaccine if you don't, and get it for your kids too. My kids got theirs this week. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. That's a whole nother live. So I'm out of here. See y'all later. Bye.